Wherever you are in the world, welcome to another of my takes on China. Western media reports about China are usually of tensions and animosity, restrictions and sanctions, balloons and drugs. So it's easy to believe the China-US relationship has fallen apart. However, if we look beyond the headlines and the political rhetoric, there is a different picture. The dinner, held on the side of APEC, saw a who's who of business leaders prepared to put themselves onto a list of friendly organizations. Xi Jinping's speech at that dinner highlighted the different picture I'm talking about, and this is something business leaders know, but media consumers don't. China welcomes cooperation, and particularly US cooperation. Xi Jinping pointed out that Senator Schumer and others visited him, as well as California's Governor Newsom. All the meetings went well, and he hopes more elected politicians will visit. President Xi is a great proponent of people-to-people relationships. He was the beneficiary of one 40 years ago, and he pointed out there are 284 sister city, state, or province relationships between the two countries. There is 760 billion in bilateral trade and more than 300 direct flights between the two countries every week. These meetings and numbers indicate media isn't being honest. People-to-people relationships are good. Government-to-government relations have challenges, and business-to-business relations have hurdles, but both are still strong. China and the USA are different. The USA is individualistic, while China is communal. This isn't a good or a bad thing when one knows how to approach them. It's clear that China's government does, but the US does not. They assume China will react in the way they would react, and this is where it goes wrong. The US system of governance is a good one, believe it or not, but it could be great. It serves the interests of wealthy individuals and corporations more than it serves the people who put it there. China has a system of governance which does serve the people, but the US struggles to understand it. Xi Jinping is elected by the National People's Congress, the NPC, and they are elected by the people. The NPC can vote to remove him every 4 years. It's not so different to the UK or Australia, where the party elects the leader. The US has freedom of press, but it's not free for all. It's free within the confines of the owner's guidelines, as well as libel, criminal, foreign influence, or national security laws. China has rules on free speech, but every person has the freedom to complain, criticize, offer solutions to problems. Aggression, insults, lies, ill-informed opinions, and foreign influence are not allowed. That's not so different. National identity, as a part of behavioral psychology, is built on several dimensions, including equality and individuality. US politics are adversarial, as is the judicial system and the business environment. And these lead to a competitive nature. But these features have created a very strong America. China's national identity is more communal, but less equal. People accept hierarchical differences, but are more cooperative. And those features have created a very strong China. But this is different. It's these differences that cause the problems. Inevitable differences in opinions can be overcome quite easily with common sense and dialogue, which is one reason why many people who think it was a mistake for Xi to meet are wrong. But there are other reasons too. Primarily, China is arguably the most important member of APEC, so Xi went to San Francisco to represent China in the same way he went to Bangkok last year, New Zealand virtually in 2021, and so on. He even hosted the summit in 2014. In other words, Xi went to an APEC meeting, and while he was there, he met the host on the sidelines. American media cleverly manipulates us into thinking this was Biden's diplomatic coup because the US announced they would meet before Xi confirmed he would attend APEC. The administration already knew President Xi would come, or they must have believed he would, because he always goes to APEC. But as Wang Yi pointed out, the path to the meeting was not smooth. The fact that President Xi has a smile on his face when he shakes the hand of a man who has called him both a dictator and a thug, and whose Secretary of State accuses him of genocide, and whose ambassador to China has accused him of human rights abuses, is a testimony to his diplomatic skills and patience, and it explains why so many Chinese people didn't want the meeting to take place. However, as one of my YouTube commentators pointed out, the summit put a flaw on the freefall China-US relationship has since the Nancy Pelosi visit to Taiwan and the spy balloon sagas, and it will at least ease the anxiety in the business community. The outcomes of this meeting may not be known for a while, perhaps not until the State of the Union address next year, but the ease in tensions brings another good reason why Xi needed to meet Biden, because by next year, China will have grown even stronger. Unless there are some significant changes in the way the USA currently manages both its domestic and foreign policies, China's rise to the top is inevitable. But China has said it doesn't seek to usurp or even overtake the USA. China has grown in global stature, economic and military strength. It grows internally with new infrastructure, increasing personal wealth, better health outcomes, including life expectancy. Conversely, the USA grows economically weaker with a spiraling national debt. Internally, it sees increasing crime, poverty, substance abuse, addictions, and homelessness. It is diplomatically weaker as it acknowledges America is losing ground globally, particularly the underdeveloped world. And while the US may still be militarily stronger, it is morally weaker as their proxy war in Ukraine grinds to a halt through quiet discussions, and they lose global support over their policy towards Israel amid accusations of Israel's genocidal intent in Gaza. This APEC meeting was needed by both sides. It gave an opportunity to Biden to fool Western voters into thinking he won a diplomatic victory. It helped him gain some time in an election year to bolster his lower ratings. And it's given China a respite from some of the recent tensions over Taiwan, as well as the opportunity to confirm to the world's most important business leaders that China is still a safe bet from them. Forget what Western media keeps trying to tell us. As China steps into a global leadership position, it may become involved in Middle East negotiations. It may help Ukraine extricate itself from its terrible position. It already is years ahead on climate change and is now sending 3 more pandas as a sign of friendship to the USA. Thanks to APEC, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. And thanks once again to you for watching, and I hope you like it enough to share and consider subscribing if you haven't already. See you all next time. Bye for now.